Yes, one place in the game changes. The emissary is always whoever dies in your current run, and there's a universe where Sarah is a potted plant. Objectively, this is the best universe because she doesn't talk.
Hold on. About Sarah. I mean, shit, if people are courting her... Alright, Sarah Morgan. Only 31 entries. Yeah, no shame here. We're doing this for science. How's it going, folks? Jack here with another reaction, and this one is late. I am late to the SsethTzeentach video on freaking Starfield because I needed to give the game another go. When this video released, I wanted to talk about it, but I thought to myself, it would be unfair to start talking about the product that I hadn't finished, because unlike many other titles from Bethesda that I played in the past, besides Fallout 76, because Fallout 76, like Morrowind, dope as hell, Skyrim, absolutely goated. Fallout 3 and New Vegas reminded me as to why I stayed a little bit more religious because of Joshua Graham.
I don't enjoy killing, but when done righteously, it's just a chore.
Fallout 4, it started leaving a sour taste, but it was okay. With the modding scene, it was okay. With Starfield, this was the first game that actually really frustrated me, and I couldn't finish it. I gave up on it, and I didn't play it further. So I needed to finish the game before actually watching this review, so that my point at least will make some sense. Now that I've done that, I can say that it's not the best game ever. It is mid, it is frustrating, and despite its procedural nature, which is very surprising that that was the whole thing that they were pending on to be something that was perhaps even better than No Man's Sky. Yes, I know some are going to make the argument that I myself has made in the past, that none of the promotional material made it to be comparable to No Man's Sky with the landing onto a planet. Of course not. But are you freaking kidding me? The fact that these things are not implemented are like crazy. And by the way, let it be known that the acquisition of Bethesda by Microsoft happened in 2020. And during that time, Todd Howard said that Starfield was ready to go. No. Which they obviously told the man to let it cook. Can you just imagine what would have happened if the game came out back then? But alas, I will say that Starfield is definitely what Bethesda fans deserve. A game that is most likely going to be driven solely by the modding scenes. And yeah, so let's jump into the review.
Hey, Star Sisters, Seth here. Let me tell you a vision of the future. In the future, white boys can finally jump with the help of a booster pack and, of course, low gravity. Humanity has spread across the stars in their multitudes of diverse races and cultures. The Red Guard, the Sons of Yakub, Hispanics, honorary Aryans, and the Fingolian Chindonesians now populate the vast expanse of space. Naturally, we never did find a solution for automation. So in the future, the only career paths are space pirate with a voice filter, or religious extremist. Parents send children away with teary eyes, knowing full well their offspring will grow up to become murderous bandits before putting on their own helmets and shooting up the 7-Eleven.
You know what? When you tune too much into these type of videos and you start understanding the jokes and predicting them, you know it's bad. You know it's really bad.
And the PS5 still has no games. That vision is already here, Star Sisters, because the best game ever made, no, the best game that will ever be made is already out, and there's no competition. Baldur's Gate? More like 3-hour unskippable gay sex scene. Starfield, a masterpiece where I can live out my fantasy of being a Bangladeshi man with A10 eyes.
Okay, hold on. To the Baldur's Gate point there. I know that people have been clowning on that for being too overtly sexual. Which it isn't. Like, unless you yourself decide to chase some of those scenes, most of it never happens. That being said, I did have conversations with some friends regarding our views on Baldur's Gate and how I personally think that it is reinvigorating the RPG genre in the way that it is supposed to be. At least as a fan of CRPGs, I think that that's more or less the route that most RPGs should follow, or at least in its content, just how fulfilling most of the things that you do in there and prescient the gameplay is, and just how immersive it actually ends up being with the interweaving of the system that are in there. But like, imagine having all of those things involved into a game in and even more than that into a good graphical package, and the only thing that comes to your mind is pussy, or I guess in this case, chode. Yeah, I think that you're in the wrong thinking like that. But anyways.
Starfield wins Game of the Year for their food models alone. Just look at the grease on that sausage. That's the difference ray tracing makes in a game like this, which runs buttery smooth on my 4090, pushing a blazingly fast 17 frames a second. I'm quite fine with this since, according to the science, the human eye can only see 24 frames a second. So
Todd Howard, change your engine or build a new one. Build a new one from the ground up. You have had the years to work on it. And also, just as a small point, Starfield was the least buggy of the Bethesda titles ever released. Yeah, that's not actually setting that high of a bar, but yeah, just wanted to point that out. But yeah, it clearly has a lot of issues. The same thing with its seamlessness. The fact that we still cannot have seamless operation or a world that is seamlessly being generated sounds crazy to me, when even franchises that are having the Phoenix treatment like Cyberpunk 2077 are literally creating these things in that way, and that game is massive. It's pretty fucking big. Yes, it is not galaxy-sized, but everything you can access without a loading screen.
Sometimes my saves get corrupted and I lose progress, but in my deep unhappiness I realize I get to have those unforgettable experiences all over again. We must imagine that we are Sisyphus, pushing the boulder forever uphill, for in the struggle we find meaning. Ask not what Todd Howard can do for you, but instead what you can do for Todd Howard. A good game has memorable characters, but an amazing game is one where you don't remember a single person at all. Starfield is to role-playing what dementia is to the elderly. And now for a word from our sponsor. The flesh is weak. I crave the strength and certainty of steel. I crave Displate.
Oh wow.
Displate.
Dude has a lot of Chinese art, and that's Conan.
Is a one-of-a-kind metal poster designed to capture your unique passions. But Sseth, I hear you cry. I've already got...
Oh my god, I almost screamed like a teenage girl. Who saved Captain Alex? Oh my god. The best of Ugandan cinema. Listen, there's nothing that Hollywood, Bollywood, or what is the Chinese equivalent again? What used to be called the Hengdian World Studios, or what some like to call Chinawood, but that sounds kind of racist to me. But yeah, nothing in anything in the world is comparable to that movie here. God damn it, that is such a breath of fresh air. Oh, I mean, gulp of nostalgia to receive here, just like that. If you haven't watched it, please do yourself a service. There are clips on YouTube for it and everything. It's so good.
My passion's captured. And how's that working out for you? What if you wanted to put up another one? Have fun wrangling the packaging, flattening it out, finding the right size poster frame, and of course, mounting the damn thing.
I did not hit her. I did not.
Say goodbye to the hassle with Displate. All you have to do is open it up, stick on the magnets, and oh hey, we're done. Displate has a vast array of high-quality official art to choose from, and they're always expanding their collection. Check out my top picks. We've got Dark Souls, Mortal Kombat, Sonic, and of course, Skyrim, and Skyrim. In Todd, we trust. And if you're not a gamer, that's fine too. Displate has posters for every passion. Cars, ducks, Elon Musk. You want it? They've got it. Just think, you could have any one of these at your door in less than a...
He has the... He has him. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Poor man was involved in something that he never wanted to.
You could have any one of these at your door in less than a week, and on your wall in less than a minute. Just visit displate.com/SsethTzeentach or use code Sseth for up to 40% off on all designs. Personally, you'll never see me with a paper poster ever again. I'm filing for divorce, taking the kids, and using Displate for all my future wall decorating needs. The strongest skill in this game, following tradition, is persuasion, which lets you walk away from the last fight by saying, "What if we don't?" This system works by stringing random sentences together with a cadence of a crackhead until the recipient gets visibly uncomfortable and leaves. Something that Highfleet would shamelessly steal. The true purpose of persuasion, however, is to gaslight companions. Sarah is strongly opposed to the harm of innocent people. So, appropriately, in the style of a cartel execution, I ventilate someone's cranium. She screams at me.
What the hell is the matter with you?
I persuade her that I'm sorry and I'm going to do better.
I'm not sure there's anything you can say at this point.
As strange as that sounds, I suppose that's possible.
It is literally the best thing in the game. Again, this is a massive universe expanding, multiverse expanding game. And the best feature is Jedi mind tricking.
Look, I realize things out here can be rough, so I'm going to let this go. For now.
And then I do it again.
I accept who you are. I'm just not sure I can travel with you on this path you've chosen.
Yep.
This is, single-handedly, the most entertaining thing in this game.
Just try to be more careful in the future. Otherwise, you'll find yourself traveling alone. I am not going to help you murder you and I.
Oh. I'm surprised that he didn't take her to Cassiopeia and leave her there. That's like a move to do.
The second most entertaining thing in this game is joining the pirate faction as a double agent, and in the process, becoming a triple agent. I have chosen to join the war on terror on the side of terror. I can play entire missions without shooting a single shot, because guess what? Half the entire game is now friendly to me. I watch caravans get lit up with the same interest as a youth in the projects witnessing a drive-by. The streets give, and the streets take
away.
Story. I've had paranoid hallucinations with more coherence than the plot of this game. Spoiler.
Okay, listen. You do not play a Bethesda game for the sake of the good stories. That just doesn't happen.
What?
But now I hear you say, but Jack, Oblivion was good, Morrowind, Skyrim, Fallout 3... Sure, but who are making these? But like even Skyrim is kind of cookie cutter, but sure, we'll excuse that. That's where they put the most effort. But ever since then, why do you think that things went downhill? We're talking about a different team working on this. The previous people who made the earlier titles from Bethesda were Interplay as well as Obsidian, right? The ones who have given us some of the most interactive games out of all times and some of the best dialogue, when even dialogue, which is usually the most boring part of these things, is actually relevant to the gameplay. Now, why is that? Well, that's because most of the people who came from those teams had the origin from the best way of writing RPGs, which were story-driven. Like, a little bit of history here. Those of you who do not know, most of RPGs are of course based on the roots of D&D, which is why some will hold acolytes to Baldur's Gate for having just continued what D&D has done, right? It's built upon its system and whatever. But the people who started creating most of the RPGs that we know today stems from the original creators of, what's the name of that game again? All as one. Ultima Underworld. That's what it was. You of course had games like Moria and stuff like that. Yeah, we're essentially talking about things like Wizardry and Ultima Underworld, which again, Wizardry is also something that Seth has covered in the past, which are basically dungeon crawlers. What do dungeon crawlers focus on? A heavy emphasis on combat, limited exploration, and a lot of loot. That is basically the driving force of it, forcing you to reevaluate your character creation and combination of the items that you'll be given so that you have more synergy in your gameplay. It is very combat heavy. This is the thing that has inspired Diablo in its now very microtransaction based type of gameplay to keep you involved by getting new loot. Things that inspired World of Warcraft, even the Dark Souls series. Now, there are exceptions to the rules, as there are some who decided to continue using this method but still including a lot of story driven narrative into it. Think of the Dark Souls series, for example, if it wasn't for the fact that you were scratching for every single advantages in combat instead of focusing on freeform gameplay, which they to an extent have achieved with Elden Ring, it would have been a completely different game. But back to my main point, the people who were making Ultima were working under a company called Looking Glass. When Looking Glass kind of lost its funding and there were a lot of conflict within the company and all that, they broke off and all of those people started making on their own stuff. You have the likes of Ken Levine, right, with the Bioshock series in Irrational Games. Warren Spector, the father of the immersive sim philosophy in Iron Storm, creating Deus Ex. Rafael Colantino, after his fallout with EA, creating Arcane Studios. What will soon become Obsidian, working on the company called Interplay. Like, all of these people stem from the same point, and they kickstarted the whole movement of trying to create games that simulated the kind of idea of playing Dungeons and Dragons. Now, some decided to then stick with the dungeon crawler aspect, while some ended up with the evolution of computer hardware and all the simulation of world, and ended up making CRPGs that are way more complex, way more story driven, and way more engaging. So now I obviously don't need to spell this out for you, despite the fact that I've been explaining a lot of things, but the previous games that were made by companies such as Interplay and later on Obsidian, that had a lot more focus on narratively driven things, had better stories. That's why you see a drastic shift from the previous Fallout game to what we have today, where the focus is more akin to a dungeon crawler. So it is a sad thing to say, but we should not be expecting great stories from Bethesda. I know it sounds stupid to say in the 2023 with a company that massive, but we shouldn't.
It's Skyrim in space. You must become Starborn to use the magical Fus Roda to kill Parthenax, who in this case is other Starborn from other universes that you must defeat to go to another universe and start New Game Plus. Multiverse Theory is appealing to fans of Rick and Morty because it implies the existence of a dimension where you haven't been molested. There's Copium Online that there's differences between universes and no run is the same. Yeah.
Dude just took a dump on Michio Kaku and everyone who's been wasting a lot of time on Multiverse Theory. Yeah, you know what? As a physics graduate, I totally agree. That has been one of our biggest waste of resources ever. And you know what? If you're gonna trash about that through Starfield, you get my consent.
Yes, one place in the game changes. The emissary is always whoever dies in your current run, and there's a universe where Sarah is a potted plant. Objectively, this is the best universe because she doesn't talk. Yet, I heard some people even romanced this creature. If you find such dialogue captivating, I recommend intimacy with a drywall. My favorite part of the story was attending a funeral, only to interrupt it by starting a firefight. Almost everyone involved is an essential NPC, so the shootout will never end.
Hold on. About Sarah. I mean, shit, if people are courting her. Alright, Sarah Morgan, only 31 entries. Yeah, no shame here, we're doing this for science. And by the way, there's only 57. Holy shit, wait, how much does Lord MXR have? Holy shit, our boy Henry's eating good. Yeah, the mods are working fine. That's where they go. That's where they bloody go.
When we have an infinite amount of universes, that means we have no consequences. Anything we do can be undone by walking through a portal. So why can't we kill essential NPCs? Why even have a setting if you're not going to make use of it? This aggravates me to no end because everyone I want to shoot is a higher entity made of light. For example, there's a side quest where a 200-year-old ship from Earth, developed before the invention of a grav drive, has reached the planet resort of Paradiso. You negotiate on their behalf and are given three options. 1. Send every colonist to work as an indentured slave for the corporation. 2. Pay out of pocket for a grav drive and send them to bother someone else. Or 3. Eliminate the last practicing Jew in the universe. I'm not making this up. There's a colonist on board who's preserved Hebrew rabbinical teachings. And the third option is the corporation asking you to destroy the ship. What the Austrian painter started, Todd will finish.
Yo, Bethesda really went like number 4, the Palestinian high five. Oh, okay. This. Okay.
What is this quest design? You present me with 3 terrible options, and my immediate response is to shoot up the board of directors. But I can't, because I'm not allowed to, because the talent in this company has dried up and left a long time ago. But it doesn't matter because Bethesda spits out a game every few years for their target audience.
Yep, what did I say? The talent has left. He does exactly that.
But it doesn't matter because Bethesda spits out a game every few years for their target audience. Dads. I get it. You have 2 kids, you're in your mid-30s, and you have time for exactly 3 games a year. I don't judge, we're all busy. But this game is immune to criticism because the people you're arguing with don't have that much time or investment. They see a crater, they soy pog, and then they leave.
Bethesda knows the players. They know that they are not here for... I wanted to say something real mean there, but it also includes me, so I'm gonna shut up.
That's why, if somebody defends this game, don't give them a hard time. They have it hard enough already, between beating their spouse and their children, and they still say, man can't multitask.
Jesus.
Gameplay. This game features challenging and intriguing puzzles, such as fit the shape into the shaped hole, and replace the battery, considering the majority of Xbox players have never replaced a smoke alarm. This is a novel concept, as it requires higher abstraction to deduce that the ubiquitous chirp in the hallway is in some way quantum connected to the set of Duracell batteries you hold in your hand. Clearly, I didn't pay enough attention during character creation, as once I finished the game, I was very surprised to hear my character's voice.
You made it. I hope you're enjoying the view.
Not like I missed anything. All the perks are garbage. Wanted is one of 2 perks that actually does anything, because you get bounty hunters chasing you. The other being kid stuff, which gives Americans the experience of 2 loving parents that aren't divorced. For the nation holding the world record in broken homes, a stable family is science fiction.
I knew he was going there. And to be fair, it's not just the perks. A lot of the skills also aren't worth it. The sliding skill in this. Who in Zawaldo thought that making that was a great idea? Like, imagine running a Mach 3, because that's almost how fast sometimes it feels. And you're freaking deciding to slide, and somehow you are halted in your movement, going at a snail's pace. Who designed this?
I spent a bunch of time modding guns, only to find out that guns don't scale whatsoever. Attachments on lower level weapons are a waste of time. Let me tell you how you're actually supposed to do it. You fly into a level 75 zone, but instead of being insta-killed, you cast Creator's Piece, which makes enemies drop their guns. You bring them back, tweak them on a workbench, and now you no longer have to complain about bullet sponges. Personally, I enjoyed shipbuilding. Yes, I'm aware of a hollow ship exploit, but I didn't really need it, because all I ever do is one-shot the engine with electromagnetic and board their ship, after which I disarm them with Creator's Piece and individually fistfight the entire crew.
I mean, the only way of truly improving the game is either rebuilding it, like giving it the Cyberpunk 2077 treatment, implementing a lot of fixes that the modding community already have made and put in there, and also just straight up expanding to an incredible level the space building and space combat. That's the way they should be doing it.
It's really fun, and if I cast Parallel Self, I can roleplay as if we're having a civil dispute at the Bangladeshi border. I found out companions don't use ammunition, which is convenient because for some reason this game lets you craft everything except ammunition, some of which is highly specific and not sold by most vendors. In contrast, crafting ingredients are sold by the dozen, trivializing their collection and destroying any incentive you had to find them yourself. So, I thought it would be interesting to try make my outposts self-sufficient, using only the resources I could find. It took me 2 full days before I found a planetary source of sealant. For reference, this is a common organic ingredient necessary for most structures. And where did I find it? Middle of nowhere on a toxic bio, meaning I needed to reach the bottom of a science tree and have free tiers into planetary habitation before I could make planetary habitation. So, in case you're ever tempted to do what I did, don't. I remember once I saw a Live Leaks video of some Chinese farmers throwing pigs into an open pit and setting them on fire with kerosene. Starfield allows you to not only recreate this video, but use it for infinite experience. What I did was set up several alien breeding facilities and boxed them in. Then, I built a macro script to throw incendiary grenades at set intervals, firebombing all the cows, waiting for them to respawn, only to firebomb them again. I can leave my desk and come back several levels higher. Generally, however, Outpost development is a hellish experience, and that's because the game has no system to track how much you need and what you need. Your best bet for memorizing a recipe is using pen and paper. The alternative to that is jumping across load screens, walking to the vendor, buying what you assume is enough, returning to the outpost, only to find out you're missing like 2 adhesive and need to go all the way back. This game is an exercise in how many load screens can you tolerate before choosing to end it all. No.
What did I say about bloody seamlessness? That's why I kind of gave up. Not kinda, I gave up until this video came out and gave it a go again.
No wonder nobody ever got that Steam refund. We spent 2 whole hours docking and undocking. There's a lot of these transitional animations, and it's not that they're painfully goddamn slow, it's that I can't skip them. I understand that this is a small indie company and maybe resources are stretched thin between the award-winning dialogue and the NPCs that hit you with that fluoride stare. But when the solution is so simple and obvious, you can't help but ask, what's going on at Bethesda? Despite having no access to the construction set, the modding community has managed to fix many of the issues. However, even if they do release the toolset 6 months down the line, I don't really trust this company to not screw me over. Remember, the only reason we don't have paid mods is because of pushback. Believe me, they'll try again.
Okay, I really need to check that mini kudos video now. With Bethesda's history especially, I think that he has a thing about the modding, judging from his thumbnail alone.
And the only potential redemption of this game is the release of a full construction set, because the only way the fans can save this game is to wipe it clean and make something else. Look, I figured it out. I know why I'm so angry. I'm not angry at the game. It's not even that bad. I'm angry because I paid $100 for it. The king of a chess club has done it again. Each time I tell myself, no, not this time. But I already know Todd's gonna tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. And each time, I listen. I understand I've said some polarizing things, but in truth, I just needed a video because I signed a lot of contracts while drunk. So don't take anything I say seriously. It's all bait. But what if it isn't? What if it's actually my unfiltered dogshit opinion? As always, more content to come because I'm legally obligated. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
I guess that one of the positive things about having played this game as a dad is that I actually managed to put it down so that I could take care of my family and not having been broken. This dude. Holy shit. Yeah, Starfield is quite something. The unfortunate thing about it is that the discourse around this game is very much the same way that recent Souls games have been. Like with that other one, Lord of the Fallen, that for some reason, we can't have like objective talks about it. There's a weird charm about them. We know that they are broken, but we're still playing through them because that's tradition for some reason. But also we need to acknowledge the hypocrisy that we sometimes have, right? There are some people who've been praising this game to acolyte and saying how good it is despite the fact that it is broken, while at the same time having been the same people who praise Baldur's Gate for having come out as a feature-complete game, and that was solid by its release. Those people most likely have not played Act 3 when it first released because that shit was broken as hell. But Todd, please stop telling us sweet little lies. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I know that my commentary might have been a little bit too long because the video is long, and yeah, perhaps I don't know. I think that I've been a bit too passionate about RPGs this year since I've played a bunch of them, and yeah, I was planning also on releasing a bunch of videos and wrote a bunch of scripts. But yeah, it is to come. That being said though, wish you all to have a wonderful evening. See you guys in the next one. Bye.